You know, I think Louis uh, is amazing. I think he rolls with it. He does a whole lot better with it than his mom and dad do. Um, he just sees it as he sees differently. He doesn't see it that it's a loss. He just sees it as he sees differently and almost uh, like a different dimension. He'll talk about in church, sometimes as a 12-year-old, their mind will wander and not be listening to what's going on in church. And he'll look down at his hands and they'll just disappear. And it will be whatever's below him, the hymnal or the, the floor. And I think that's fascinating. So he sort of plays with it like a visual toy sometimes. And I think that's fascinating, that he's willing to do that and look at it as just a new way to look at things rather than a loss. Friends and parents of friends have told us different times what an inspiration he is. And just recently, one friend of mine told me that their son said his mom had gone to a workshop about kids with disabilities, and how years ago, if you had a disability, you were put in a separate school or a separate classroom. You weren't mainstreamed. And this boy said, I can't imagine our class without Louis. He's taught us so many things. And I think that's what is inspiring and hopeful. And that's what I try when I start to worry about the future. I think about that and that he's going to do more than well when he grows up. It doesn't seem that he is too worried about the fact that he won't be able to drive. And I think he's 12. It hasn't impacted him yet, obviously, but when I talk to him about that, he knows he won't be able to drive. He's always known he can't play baseball. Tennis, we tried it. He's not very good at it. We've played basketball. He's actually better at basketball than any of us are. And we can see we're just not coordinated. And we're working on golf, and he really likes that. And the person that's teaching him golf really understands the way about feeling. And so he's trying to get in tune with a lot of those things, and which I think is really helpful. I think the hardest thing that Louis is going to face for being a teenager is, I think when he gets to high school, he's going to have to use a cane, because the high school building is a lot more full of kids. The school he's at right now, it's a small school and it's a small area that he can get around. But I think he's going to need that cane. He jokingly calls it the crowd splitter. And I think that's going to be really hard for him, because then that's a big sign that you might as well wear a sign that says, hey, look out, I'm blind. And he doesn't like that. He doesn't want, for whatever reason, he doesn't want that label. And no teenager wants a label. They want, all kids that age want to be normal and the same. And hopefully Louis will be confident in who he is, that he is the same. He is a normal teenager. He just has this disease called Stargardt that makes him special, I think. And that the level of blindness that Louis has changes his life enough that the research that the foundation is doing can enhance, and hopefully give his vision back to him. I would love to see that. I would love for him to be able to sit down and read a book with me, or go to the baseball game and see the ball. We love to go to Target Field and see a baseball game, and Louis loves everything else about it, and you'd have to ask him about what he likes about it. I sit there and think, really? We're at a baseball game, Louis can't see a thing. So we got a big, huge TV so we can watch baseball together. I would love to sit on the couch with him and snuggle up and watch Harry Potter instead of have him sitting up next to the TV watching Harry Potter. And the foundation gives me the hope that someday we're going to sit on the couch together and snuggle up just like every other family to watch Harry Potter. Because they're the only ones that are doing anything that give me hope and can restore Louis' vision or keep it from getting any worse. I want it to be as normal as possible. And I think when you know that he's potentially going to lose even more vision, there's this feeling as a parent that you want to show him everything now. So when he was diagnosed, we took money and said, we're going to Hawaii and we're going to, see the whales. We're going to see Haleakala. We're going to see the big waves. We're going to do everything. And we blew a wad and now we're paying for it. But so it's that kind of feeling. And so now we're trying to do that on a smaller scale, go to all of the historical sites in Minnesota we can see now. And so there's a part of me and Greg as well that feels like we want to show our kids everything now, because maybe when he's 22, he won't be able to see it or experience it the way he can now. And then at the same time, I don't want to deprive him of being on a sport and just hanging out at home and having pick-up play dates and things like that. So it's a balance act and trying to find that balance between exposing him and showing him all kinds of things and just being normal, hanging out. Well, first, the foundation has been, I guess I want to say a lifesaver because it's provided hope for me. When we found out about Louis' vision, the eye doctor at the time gave us no hope and basically said, there's nothing we can do, there's no hope, go back to your house, cry, and figure things out. And we found out, I got on the phone the next day and called the School of the Blind in Faribault. I called the school district. I called Vision Loss Resources, and I think they put me in touch with Julie, who's the president or chapter leader for Minnesota for the Foundation Fighting Blindness. And Greg got on their website and started doing all kinds of research and reading people's blogs and all of that, and it gave me hope. And every year it's a mixed bag when we go see his doctor, who is a recipient of foundation research money. I always anticipate that they're going to tell us that Louis' vision has taken a dive, but then I also hear at the end, here's where the research is opening up. Here's the good part. So that's my hope, and that's what I focus on. And I believe that within Louis' lifetime, there will be some kind of cure, whether it restores his vision or stops its progression. Either one I'd be happy with. So they've been tremendous in giving me hope. And just the support network too, getting to know other people with the same or similar retinal diseases. We haven't met anybody, well, we have met people with kids, but their kids are older, and they found out when they were in their teenage years. So they've been helpful to, just see how things go through your teenage years and into college now. So very helpful and hopeful. I think it's even beyond hope for Louis. I think he just has the confidence that it will change in his lifetime, that he will have restored vision or it will stop the progression of his loss of vision. He believes that very confidently, and that's what I feed off of. A long time ago, Greg said, Louis driving the bus on this, and we're along for the ride. And he really shouldn't be driving the bus. But I think that's what makes it fun, is that we follow his lead in it. He's not sad, so we shouldn't be sad. He sees it as just a different way to look at things. So I try to see it that way. And his confidence with it, and he's comfortable talking about it. And we want to keep that confidence and that hope in him, because I think that will carry through to a successful life for him. The first 5 years before we knew about the foundation, I didn't think there was any, you know, we were going to just fumble through life, maybe by chance running into somebody with the same retinal disease. The foundation put me in touch with people that I could talk to, adults that have it, so I could ask them questions about what their life was like. And it gives me hope. And I think as a parent, every parent wants to have hope for their children's future. So it gives me hope. So your $10 million would give me a whole lot of hope. I have a lot of anxiety about safety and social acceptance as he gets older. And his coping, that, you know, he's 12 now. When he becomes a teenager or older, how will he cope? So, and I try very hard to keep my grief away so that he doesn't see it as a grief or a loss. Yeah, I get angry. I get angry about, you know, why did this have to happen to my son? And I don't feel equipped to fully help him and be sad. You know, it's hard to not be sad. And I shouldn't be sad because he's not sad. You know, it's his vision. It's not that bad, right? So not being able to understand what he's going through, that's really hard. And I think parents, mothers in particular, kind of feel a control of keeping everyone safe, and you know, you have a plan or a, you know, an idea of how you think life will work out. And when you've got this kind of unknown in there of vision loss, how is that going to work? You know, how is he, when he's 25 and needs to get to an interview somewhere and the cab driver doesn't know where it is, or the bus driver doesn't know, you know, I think about those things. So it's frustrating, and I know I shouldn't worry about the future, but it's hard not to as a mom.